Hi, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Kelly Made. I'm Kelly, and this is the weekly vlog where I am held accountable for the yarn in my house to try and use it up instead of buying more. I actually had progress this week. The last couple of weeks I've only used one skein at a time. Excuse me. I've been making garland again for St. Patrick's Day. So these are the little, it's very stiff. I'm still trying to perfect my starch bath. But yeah, very stiff, but that's okay. That's what I want for my clovers. And I have a couple 4-leaf ones as well. So I'll make garland out of these. The dark green ones are getting ready for their starch bath. So I finished those. I just have to string them along. So next week I'll have those strung along. And this week, let's see, I have my little, how many things of yarn did I use right here? And I should have counted before I got on, and I did not. So 3, 4, 5, 6, so I used 8. Go me. Look at that. Most of that is because I started working on my temperature blanket again, and I have it sitting here next to me, so I'll show that to you. I am doing a corner to corner granny square. I do 20 stitches a day. I am up to September 15th, 16th, mid-September. So you can see it's enormous, and it's cotton, so it's heavy as hell. But I hold a string together for the high and low of the day. I have this handy dandy, I'm going to close that over, little chart that, you know, shows me which colors I use for which temperature range. So starting in January, that's what it looked like, right? So as we go along and you get to the midsummer colors, oof, there we go. You start to get, you know, pinks and lighter greens. And then as we got into the summer months, you had the oranges and the yellows, which is kind of my favorite section still, with some pinks and light purples. But there you go. That's kind of where we are. It's interesting because today I also pulled out the skeins that I don't need anymore because I'm in September. And after September, actually even in September, we didn't have any temperatures over 90 degrees. So I was able to pull out the 91 to 95 and the 96 to 100. We also don't have any temperatures through the rest of the year under 10 degrees. So I was able to pull out the 0 to 5 and the 6 to 10. And then, you know, just a whole bunch of, you know, fun colors. Those are my warm ones. And then in the bottom, you see some of my cooler ones. And then somehow or another, all of this is Knit Pick Shine, by the way. Somehow one of Wallaby ended up in there. I'm not sure why I didn't have brown in my blanket, but there it is. But yeah, current, anything over 100 or anything under single digits was like this color. Not going to use it in this blanket. Now, if I had done it from March 1st to March 1st, would have used all of those cold weather ones because we got down into the negative single digits here in February. I know everybody's talking about their power bill. I have 1,000 square feet in my house. My house is my house is 75 years old. My power bill, I'm not on budget planning because they screw me when I do that. It was over $560 for the last 4 weeks because it has been so flipping cold. Under 40 degrees, my house is not heat efficient. I have electric baseboard heat, which is the worst kind you can have for electricity. And it just, yeah. So I'm going to sell a kidney, just so you know, if you're interested, to try and pay my bill. Anyway, I was excited to work on my temperature blanket. It's been a while, and I do love it, and it is heavy as all get out, but I do enjoy it. And then when I am out of town, I use the high and low of wherever I am. I didn't go any place exotic. I just went to see family. And so instead of doing just a regular granny stitch, I do cluster stitches, so there's a bit more space, so you can see, like, here I was at home, and here I was out of town kind of thing, because there's these big holes here. In town through all of August. Lots of pinks and yellows in August. But yeah, it's interesting because some of these color combinations are not my favorite, like, to think about, but I love the way it's turning out. It's going to be enormous, and it's heavy, and I'm excited to finish it. I hopefully will finish it. My goal, as I said, is to finish it by the end of March. So that's what I've been working on this week after work, on weekends, yesterday, on weekends. The weekend was yesterday and today. My sleep pattern is messed up, so I missed morning church, but went to a new evening church, which is going to change to a morning church regardless. You get the point. Like, I was at church tonight. So I couldn't keep going, but I will. Other than that, I think once I finish this, I'm going to start on my kit. I had one person, Tess Loves Yarn, so thank you very much for commenting, say that, yeah, you should count kit yarn. And I kind of knew I needed to count kit yarn. I just didn't want to count kit yarn. So I had 10 skeins because I opened 2 kits, or put them away. Like I still had them sitting in my mail center, like in my laundry room where I just dump all my mail. I got another one this week. So I put both of those in with the rest of the blanket stuff. So that's another 10 skeins that came in. But I used 8. So technically I'm only back by 2, which I might even finish tonight. You never know. But that's about it. I've done some organizing. Once I finish this blanket and I work on that, I may actually take some of this yarn, and this is the excess yarn from my project because it's cotton and it's bright colors and it's pretty. I have the orange and I have the red and I may have some pink, I'm not sure, and I have this wine color, and I may make some more flowers. And if I make more flowers, because right now almost all my flowers are yellow except for the wisteria, the lavender. I'm looking at a vase of fake flowers sitting right across from me. Once I finish with the cotton, I can start to use that for other cottony related projects. And so that'll be fun to do. But yeah, just slowly working through it all. That's about it. So yeah, used 8, but brought in 10. So that means net was a gain of 2, which means year to date, I have net used 7. So not bad. I can handle that. You know, I have 3 weeks of vacation I have to take between now and mid-June. And so I think that I'm going to have a yarncation at some point in May. You never know. Just trying to figure out, I keep looking around, trying to see if there's anything else I can show you. There's really not. But that's about it. I have made progress on my temperature blanket. I have finished making shamrocks. Hallelujah, because I didn't like working with the dark green. I will finish those together because I have Bible study where we don't study the Bible on Friday. And I usually give the girls one. So hopefully they'll like it. That's it. I hope your yarny projects are going well. I hope you have a lovely week. If you have your own crafty things to do, I hope it brings you joy. And that's pretty much it for me this week. I don't have a lot else to say. I will see you next Sunday. Thank you for your time. Bye.